Your sister calls. She's upset because you didn't ask for her opinion before making a major life decision. Your mother heard through the grapevine that you're doing something she doesn't approve of. Your brother thinks you should handle your life differently. And for the first time in decades, you feel nothing. Not guilt, not anxiety, not the old desperate need to explain yourself or win their approval. Just a quiet, powerful indifference. And it feels like freedom. If you've reached the point where your family's opinions no longer dictate your choices, this video will explain why that's not coldness. It's wisdom. It's maturity. It's the natural result of decades spent trying to please people who were never going to be satisfied anyway. There are 4 types of people who stop caring what their family thinks, and each one reveals something profound about emotional liberation. If any of these resonate, subscribe now, because we explore the psychology of people who've stopped performing and started living. Let's start with the first type, those who finally realize that family approval was always conditional. You spent your whole life trying to earn it, trying to be good enough, successful enough, conventional enough to finally receive unconditional acceptance. You made choices based on what they would think. You dressed how they expected. You pursued careers they respected. You dated people they approved of. You performed the version of yourself they wanted to see. And it was never enough. When you succeeded, they moved the goalposts. When you failed, they said, "I told you so." When you asked for support, they gave criticism disguised as concern. You finally understood something devastating and liberating. Their approval wasn't based on who you were, it was based on how well you obeyed. As long as you were trying to earn it, you were giving them power over your life. Psychologically, this is called external locus of validation, when your sense of worth depends on other people's approval. And the shift happens when you realize that people who truly love you don't make you audition for their acceptance. Real love doesn't come with terms and conditions, so you stopped auditioning, you stopped performing, you started making choices based on what felt right to you, not what would make them comfortable. And when they disapproved, you felt it, you acknowledged it, and then you moved on anyway. They called it selfish, you called it survival. Because you finally learned that living for someone else's approval isn't love, it's captivity. Now the second type, and this one's powerful, those who got tired of being edited. If you're this type, you know exactly what I mean. Every time you shared something real, something vulnerable, something authentically you, they had notes. They didn't celebrate your truth. They tried to revise it. You shouldn't feel that way. That's not how it happened. You're too sensitive. You're overreacting. They gaslit your experiences. They minimized your feelings. They rewrote your story to fit their narrative. So you stopped sharing. Not out of spite, but out of self-protection. Because every time you let them in, they used your vulnerability as an opportunity to control you. They didn't want to understand you. They wanted to fix you, mold you, correct you into someone more convenient for them. And you realize something crucial. You don't owe anyone access to your inner world, especially people who've proven they'll weaponize it. Psychologically, this is called boundary-based authenticity. You're not hiding. You're being selective about who gets the real you. And that selectivity isn't secrecy. It's wisdom. Because sharing yourself with people who invalidate you isn't intimacy. It's self-betrayal. So now, when they ask invasive questions, you give surface-level answers. When they probe for details you don't want to share, you change the subject. When they criticize choices they don't understand, you smile and say nothing. They call it being distant. You call it being discerning. Because you've learned that silence isn't always avoidance. Sometimes it's the most honest thing you can offer someone who's never really listened anyway. Third type, those who finally saw the pattern and stopped participating. You didn't just wake up one day and stop caring what your family thinks. You tried. For years you tried. You explained yourself. You defended your choices. You presented evidence. You made your case over and over, hoping that eventually they'd understand. They'd respect you. They'd see you as the adult you've become. But nothing changed. No matter how clearly you articulated your reasons, no matter how successful you became, no matter how healthy and happy your choices made you, their opinions stayed the same. And that's when you finally understood. This was never about you. Their disapproval wasn't based on your actual choices. It was based on their need to maintain control, their discomfort with change, their inability to see you as separate from their expectations. Psychologically, this is called recognizing relational futility. It's the moment you stop trying to change someone's mind because you realize their opinion isn't actually based on observable reality. It's based on their unexamined beliefs, their unresolved issues, their projection. And once you see that, something shifts. You stop defending yourself because you realize you're not on trial. Their judgment says more about them than it does about you. So now, when they express disapproval, you don't argue, you don't explain, you don't try to win them over. You just acknowledge their opinion exists and continue living your life. Not because you don't care about them, but because you've accepted that some people will never approve of choices that do not serve their interests. And that's their limitation, not yours. And finally, the fourth type, those who discovered that peace is more valuable than approval. These people didn't stop caring what their family thinks because they're bitter or angry. They stopped caring because they found something better, self-trust. They spent so many years seeking validation from people who withheld it that they forgot to validate themselves. And then one day, they started. They started trusting their own judgment. They started believing in their own choices. They started recognizing that their life experiences, their values, their needs, these things matter even if their family doesn't understand them. And with that, self-trust came something unexpected, indifference to criticism. Not because the criticism doesn't hurt, but because it no longer defines them. Psychologically, this is called internal locus of evaluation. Your sense of rightness comes from within, not from external consensus. And people who reach this point have an unmistakable quality. They're calm. They're not defensive. They're not trying to prove anything. They've stopped performing for an audience that was never going to applaud anyway. Some of them still have relationships with their families, just on different terms. Others have stepped back entirely. But they all share this. They've reclaimed their lives from the tyranny of other people's expectations. And they've discovered that the disapproval they feared so much, it loses its power the moment you stop believing it defines your worth. People will say you've become cold, that you've changed, that you don't care about family anymore. But here's the truth. You haven't stopped caring about family. You've stopped sacrificing yourself to maintain the illusion that their approval determines your value. You've stopped contorting yourself into shapes that make other people comfortable. You've stopped betraying yourself for acceptance that was always conditional. You didn't stop caring what they think because you hate them. You stopped caring because you finally learned to care about yourself. And that's not selfish, that's survival, that's growth. That's the inevitable result of trying to earn something that should have been freely given. So, which type are you? The one who stopped auditioning for approval, the one who stopped being edited, the one who saw the futility and stopped defending, or the one who chose self-trust over external validation? Comment below. Your story might give someone else permission to stop carrying the weight of opinions that were never meant to define them. And if this video helped you feel less guilty about living your own life, share it. Send it to someone who's still seeking approval from people who will never give it. Because sometimes we need to hear that it's okay to stop caring what they think. That it's okay to prioritize our peace over their comfort. That it's okay to live authentically, even if that makes other people uncomfortable. Subscribe if you're done performing for people who've never appreciated the show. We validate your choice to trust yourself, to protect your peace, and to build a life that doesn't require anyone else's permission. You don't need their approval. You don't need their understanding. You don't need their validation. What you need is your own. And the moment you give that to yourself, everything changes. Not because they finally see you, but because you finally stop needing them to.